Some takeaway points from my years of team consulting include 4 pretty important points. One is to make sure that you have complete buy-in by the head coach. It's very important that the head coach attends the meetings. It's also very important that the head coach takes time out of their training block for these team meetings. Certain levels of competitive sport, the athletes have very little expendable time. So it becomes important to add these team consulting meetings in with that time block. The players will certainly appreciate it because it's not cutting into their outside time, and it will also show a good endorsement from the coach about how important this is and that it is part of the training, not physical, technical training, but mental and team training. A second takeaway point is to make sure that that contract, the written one, is very detailed in terms of what are the consultant's main responsibilities. One example is a collegiate golf team that I work with. We had it all set for me to improve upon their team functioning and team communication and effectiveness. But about halfway through the season, the coach was expecting more individual sessions and more sessions with their captains, which wasn't agreed upon at the start. So it's just very important to make sure that at the start of this consulting relationship, that it's all down and very detailed in terms of what your prime responsibilities are. Another important takeaway point is the time commitment. Coaches, captains, and all players need to realize that this is not a one-shot approach. It's not a one-time thing. In order for this to work, there are some additional responsibilities of time, some email correspondence, and maybe even some Skype video conferencing. So it's just important from the onset to make sure that the coaches, captains, and all players realize that there will be some extra time put in, and this is just part of their overall training, albeit team training. Final takeaway point is to just be realistic. Not everyone is going to be 100% on board. They're not going to be 100% bought in. They may not always attend your sessions with the utmost enthusiasm. And that's just something that you need to learn to deal with. In the past, I've had some athletes who begin to show some signs of not committing to it. They start goofing off in meetings. They don't respond to emails. Usually I will go through their captains first. If it's a captain who's doing this, I'll go through their coach. At that point, we'll have a formal sit-down or a Skype session to just talk about what their behaviors, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, the impact that they're having on the rest of the team. So even for those players who are not 100% committed, just look like it. Play the game for your teammates' sake, for the sake of this team. Try and appear bought in. And usually, those players will usually come around and become some committed, active participants. But from the consultant side of things, you're not going to get 100% compliance. So work with the team, work with the coaches, work with the captains especially to try and get as close to that as possible. In this video, I've shared with you what I've learned through my years of team consulting experience. And I'm hopeful that you found some valuable points that you can use with your teams and athletes. Good luck.